Me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
You're listening to the Black Lodge Games Podcast, Episode 3. And today, we're doing something a little different. We are in the depths of a mid-journey created dungeon, as you can see, because we are overcoming our technological boomerism and raising the production value on this podcast by just a hair. And today, we're not going to be talking about the super autistic storytelling aspects of role-playing games, but we're going to be talking about one of the main problems that exists in this hobby. And it's not exactly with the products themselves. Today, Nick has brought us something beautiful. Something that I didn't think was even possible to view. So why don't you tell us a little something that's going to lead us into these wonderful, wonderful
true
pieces
gold
of
from
content.
the depths of the sewer.
Yeah.
From the bottom of your toilet comes this astonishing paragon of the gaming hobby of the commentariat, such as it is. When I saw this guy, this YouTube channel, I thought for sure this has to be a troll. This has to be the the long con in terms of getting one over on the normies. But we have a true believer in the new religion.
Yeah, the new religion of the Wizards of the Coast.
Yes, all praise Hasbro and Gary Gygax, peace be upon him.
Yeah,
for the true vision, the spiritual movement, the heralding of the age of Aquarius and the dawn of the new man. The bug man is here. He is in your home, and you will be one of them soon enough. But perhaps I get ahead of myself. We've got I believe we have 3 videos we're going to be watching. There's a YouTube channel out there called J. Scott Garibay. He's been making YouTube commentary content on primarily D&D, also OSR, touching on gaming news from a D&D perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you can really call it content.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I gotta warn you guys, this is gonna be rough.
This is gonna be triggering. That is definitely
yeah. We have a trigger
here.
warning. If you are averse to cringe, you may not want to watch this video.
Yeah.
But
or lean into it.
Without further ado, I think we should
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, let's let him speak for himself and introduce himself. We're gonna do something right here, which again, see if our boomer tech aversion can be overcome.
Yes.
All right. Now let me see if I can get this going. Good. I would like to introduce everyone
listening.
To J. Scott Garibay. And if you're listening in an audio version at some point, please, I beg you to go and watch the video. youtube.com/@blacklodgegames. And that's another reminder. If you guys are watching this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the bell. Get those notifications.
Come on, we need them. You need them.
All right.
Hi, this is Scott Garibay.
J. Scott Garibay.
Why you should stop playing
Hi,
your
this
favorite
is Scott
indie
Garibay.
tabletop.
And today, I'm going to very patiently, very kindly, very respectfully ask you to stop playing your indie fantasy tabletop role-playing games and get back to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, where the real work of TTPRG's future is being done.
The real work.
The real work.
You guys need to do the work, all right? You need to do better.
But what work?
And the only way to do that is to stop whatever you're doing, any game that you're enjoying, having fun with.
Right.
You have to stop.
You've created.
Yeah, put it down. Your creations, your creativity doesn't matter. Put it down. Go back to Dungeons & Dragons, specifically 5th edition.
Because Dungeons & Dragons need you, the tabletop role-playing game community needs you, and frankly, the American culture needs you, okay?
It's all on you guys. It's all on
Yeah.
you guys.
This
All right,
is
so,
you are the last bastion. You have to consume, buy product.
Right.
New product is good product.
Yes,
You
and-
need new product in your life.
If you don't get new product, number of products sold doesn't
Number
go
don't
up.
go up.
We need number to go up.
I've come to a new understanding, a different understanding of indie tabletop role-playing games. And so what is that, right? It's very different, distinctly different. So let's talk about it. So I know why you went over to your indie tabletop role-playing games, your fantasy tabletop role-playing games. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about old school essentials. I'm talking about Five Torches Deep. I'm talking about Index Card RPG. I'm talking about Knave, right? I'm talking about just, the new Talislanta, right? I'm talking about brilliant, beautiful fantasy, independent tabletop role-playing games.
Which you need to stop playing
What
right
you
now.
need these beautiful things.
These beautiful things that bring so much value to you. You got to stop.
Yeah, personal creativity, the passion of the creators and the people who play them, who enjoy them. That's not what this is about. That's not what the hobby is for. That's not what you should be doing. This is a political, spiritual, humanitarian movement,
Right.
Which he'll elucidate us all on
Yeah.
in a moment.
And you were playing Dungeons and Dragons. You're like, you know what? I'm not going to be in this comfortable, safe space where I'm spoon-fed a Dungeons and Dragons adventure every 3 months, and there's really no place for me to build my own world, and there's no place for me to build my own modules, and where I can't
Correct.
do
Yeah.
exactly the type of weapons conversion I want, and I can't do the initiative I want.
He's really selling me on coming back to D&D right now,
Yeah,
by the way.
he's actually making good points here.
Yeah.
This is exactly why.
I have too many, bespoke, special desires and preferences that need to be spoken to, and
He's got something on his lip, too. If you can see it right here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the
The
face.
missing tooth is the icing on the cake. But
this face right here is, I love that people. I love it when people make
Physiognomy
YouTube.
prime.
Yeah, this is like classic YouTube video of like guy with camera
Yeah.
who doesn't care about what it looks like at all.
Yeah, in your beater, all the
The
background noise,
the
things
stains
creaking
on
and shaking, the duct tape is straining.
the stains on the seats in the background. And the most important thing is always to make sure that you're shooting your video so the camera's pointed upward
The least
at your
flattering
face.
angle.
Yeah, literally the least flattering angle possible.
you went out and you found the game that did all of it for you, right? And that might have been OSC, that might have been Index Card RPG, it might have been Knave, all brilliant, beautiful games made by brilliant, beautiful creators, right? Now here's the problem. And you went there because you wanted to be in Frontier's Land. You wanted to build your log cabin yourself, right? You wanted to, maintain your own horses and grow your own vegetables, right? You wanted to be in Frontier's Land.
Yeah,
I don't know what this metaphor is at all.
I don't know what it is either. But again, this all sounds like pretty noble pursuits,
Yeah, pretty accurate, an accurate assessment of why a lot of people are fed up with D&D. Even people who are not fed up with D&D. I purchased this thing because I want to support someone, or it seemed interesting, a different
Right.
take on a certain aspect, or I wanted to do my own thing, make my own game, make my own setting, play it in a different rule set, a rule set that I maybe grew up with and have some nostalgia for, or something I've never tried before.
Right. But Nick,
stretch my
that's-
creativity.
That's
Be
not what
creative.
That's not what this game or this hobby is
No.
about. It's not about any of that. Okay?
He said it. D&D needs you.
D&D does need you. Okay? This guy right here needs you.
Needs you.
You're no longer in Frontier's Land. Now you are in the Wi-Fi Starbucks. You are the comfortable person. So if
You
you
are
out
the
there
consumer.
and you are playing your indie games, you have surrendered and you are doing the easy thing, right? And I want you to just
Surrendered to what?
This makes no fucking sense.
This makes literally no sense at all.
It's he's circled back on some strange psychotic point that has no bearing on reality.
Yeah.
No basis in evidence or
And that's a theme with a lot of his
anything.
videos is like it's just this kind of stream of consciousness like train of thoughts that's just like bouncing between points that never get made. Like
No,
he'll always say, "Well,
right.
let me get back to my point," and then he'll not explain what it is.
Not at all.
Take a step back and realize how curated your current environment is, okay? And how comfortable it is with you and your friends playing your incredibly bespoke game. Now, here's the problem with what you're doing.
This is the other thing: is these games aren't that bespoke. They're like going back to old rule systems.
They're old D&D. It is
Yeah.
D&D. If
Yeah.
you like D&D so much, if you're championing product, brand, creation of Gary Gygax, peace be upon him,
Right.
this is, in many respects, certainly old school essentials, Knave, Black Hack, White Hack. these games, these products, are a throwback to something which still exists,
Yeah.
and did exist, and was current product
Right.
at one time.
At some time, it was current product.
Doing, and this is what I'm calling you to. Dungeons & Dragons has real problems. It's the frontier now, okay? If you go onto Twitter, Twitter is a burning platform of all kinds of problems that you get to ignore because you're off in your,
I don't know how Twitter got
bespoke,
into this
special,
discussion.
Cultured,
I have no
safe
idea.
indie game.
Yeah. Your safe indie game that,
Safe.
is so safe that it's not afraid to, push boundaries and overstep, cultural lines you're not supposed to cross.
Right.
This is complete insanity. And this is the other thing about
Is-
he in all of these videos, he's like worshiping Gary Gygax as like the inventor of American fantasy and like this
American culture.
American
at large.
culture and like the kind of spiritual core of Americana. And it's like Gary Gygax got forced out of TSR in the fucking mid 80s.
Right.
And then they started suing him every time he made a game. Like,
Yeah. Right.
which I guess must be like he lost the way, or there's now like the Reformed Church of AD&D was made.
Well, no, Gary Gygax is the prophet of the new covenant. He,
Right.
like Jesus in Gethsemane, he had his passion, and he was betrayed. As Judas betrayed Jesus, as Christ suffered, so did Gary Gygax suffer for us and for our benefit.
Yeah.
In the 80s, he had his wandering like Moses in the 40 years in the desert. This is truly crazy.
Yeah.
To have such a loyalty and a piety towards a consumer product. At this point,
Right.
D&D,
D&D.
it's a multi-billion-dollar multimedia corporate product.
Right. It's Pepsi, basically. He is treating Pepsi as if it is religion.
Right? But Dungeons & Dragons, right now, Dungeons & Dragons has 3 books that use the word race, right? It's the
Here we go.
Holy shit. I forgot about this part.
DMG, the MM, and the PHB, right? So while literally the core of the game is using the term race and applying modifiers to race, which everyone now is like, this is a bad idea. Like no one is
saying that other than shills.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is it. Like
these problems.
What is the point of having different races or species in a game if they're all the same?
Right.
The reason that you play them is because they are different.
Correct. And that's interesting. Things
Yes.
that are the same are the same. An elf is no different from a human if they're not longer lived. They're more graceful. They have
More in tune with
this sort of-
nature.
more in tune with nature or with magic, or have this storied history. They're aloof and they're mysterious, and they are very different.
Yeah.
Dwarves, very different. Subterranean creatures, crafters, have a completely different ecology that they were made in, evolved in, whatever you want to say in your in your world. Same thing with, you take it down the line to the core, seven species, the other ones in your tieflings, your Aasimar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are all different perspectives, different shoes, different hats, different masks that you can wear, and you should be, because they're interesting, creative enterprises.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I doubt that he would have any problem with, the monsters in the monster manual having different bonuses associated with them.
Different stats, different CRs.
And the craziest, this is the craziest part of this, is that they are, of course, associating the word race in the context of like literally different fantasy species. And they're saying like that the assumption, if the word race is this like horrible negative thing, like, oh my God, I can't believe how problematic this is,
yeah, it's
a
third rail.
Right. They're basically saying that each of these different races or species, whatever you want to say, are stand-ins for types of human beings, which is
utter insanity and
like completely insane.
Let's say if you want to use the word problematic, that's certainly a mindset which is very much that, and not intended in any way, shape, or form. You look at old art of orcs; they had pig faces. They were inhuman monstrosities made to be such. And if you're seeing orcs as an analog for a real world ethnicity, that says more about you. That says everything about you and nothing at all to do with the product. And this is the real work that he's going to allude to.
Right.
Your time, your creativity, your enjoyment with your friends, your personal role-playing intention, the enjoyment and the fulfillment that you get here, that is absolutely not what you should be concerned with from
that's not the point
Garibay's
of this
perspective. You have to do political work. You have to engage with these real-world political issues on Twitter, I guess, and elsewhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, Twitter's a burning platform, though, so I don't know if it'd even be worth it to do there. I think really what you should be doing is dealing with these issues at the tabletop itself.
At the table.
Yeah, at the table.
It's never been the case that you can't avoid addressing these issues in your D&D game, as the vast majority of people who aren't insane do.
Yeah, exactly. And one last thing before we get this started again, I should have prepared this, but there is, in the breakdown of the humans in AD&D 2nd Edition Player's Handbook, it says like, a note on humans or something, and it basically spells out explicitly that all real-world ethnicities are accounted for within humans. And so use your imagination, play however you want. There's no restrictions on that. And they also specifically say that humans are the most open-minded of all the different fantasy races within the context of the kind of basic D&D setting. Right. And that they're more open to cooperating with, elves and dwarves and gnomes and halflings, and so they're much easier to get. They get along much easier in an adventuring party. So the core vision of what humans was like the most kind of morally idealized race, egalitarian species, open-minded species within the game. So this is utterly
progressive species.
Yeah, this is utterly fucking insane. This modern take that people are looking at this shit through. It makes me so angry.
It's depraved and has no basis in reality.
It's disgusting, and I'm just gonna let him continue on this line of thought.
Keep digging that hole, man.
Right.
Is really defending, saying, we really need to make sure that all the races are distinct, and each race, this race gets this plus and this race gets this minus, and it looks horrific, right? But
no, it doesn't look horrific.
No, it doesn't.
That's the core of the game right now. Like, it's PHB, DMG, Monster Manual, right? But every single new Unearthed Arcana that comes out is stripping alignment from the game, is stripping race from the game.
Yeah, let's strip the entire system of good and evil from the game. And again, I'm not a fan of alignment, but it's not because...
Yeah, we'll get to talk about alignment.
Yeah, we'll talk about alignment sometime, but it's not because it's dealing with good and evil. Like, that's not the issue with
Yeah,
alignment.
and certainly not because it's. I'll quit while I'm ahead. Let's like.
Okay,
Garibay
let's get back to Garibay. There's just he says so many things at once that it's like
that
you
are
can't
so wrong so
wrong
quickly.
on every level. They're like fractally wrong down to the very premise. Like utterly broken at any scale. All right, let's keep going.
All right.
There is a struggle for culture in Dungeons and Dragons right now. Okay.
There's a struggle to eliminate any notion of culture whatsoever from Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
They're getting
the
rid
struggle
of-
is to eradicate it.
Yeah, is to eradicate it and make it a like completely flat, flavorless gruel.
Yeah.
There is a struggle.
Oatmeal for your morning breakfast.
Right.
In a nice Technicolor box for you to purchase, and then purchase more of slightly different flavors of oatmeal.
Right.
And again,
But-
this is why D&D needs you. This is why
Yeah.
the gaming hobby, why the culture needs you. You should not be engaged in roleplay. You should not be engaged in any sort of creativity, because that is abandoning your responsibility as a citizen, and more importantly, as a pious observer of the new religion.
Right.
Of the global faith.
Like
which is
do you really not want
deal
to
with
eat the
political
gruel?
issues.
Yeah. Do you really not want to eat the gruel?
Eat the gruel, continue proselytizing
Yeah.
in your games with your friends.
Struggle for philosophy that reaches out to the entire American culture, right? What do we believe about race? Do we believe that all races are equal, right? Not that some are fundamentally different and have different attribute scores, right?
This is not about human beings. You have human beings discreetly as their own thing within D&D, and then you're talking about made-up fantasy monsters that are not humans.
Correct.
There's
In a
just-
world which is not Earth.
Yeah.
There's no bearing to American politics, European politics, global history, good, bad, indifferent. This is a fantasy world where you are supposed to explore your creativity and embody something different. Everybody knows what's happened in the world. We live in the world. This is something separate and different. This is not a vehicle to promote political ideology in, or to get you to be ruminating over that at all hours of the day.
Right.
Huge, massive discussion about culture happening. What do we believe about alignment? Does alignment connect to morality? Right? These are just 2 questions. There's like 10 questions that are being asked, right? And you're over here just enjoying your game, right? And drinking your latte.
What a concept.
How fucking dare
What
you?
a fucking concept.
How fucking dare you? You sit down and enjoy your games when you could be out here doing the work.
Doing the work.
You know, just
Outrageous.
having the best time with your friends while world-shaking, world-breaking, world-making questions are happening on Dungeons and Dragons, right? Now, here's the problem, right? You went over there because you love tabletop role-playing games, and you probably understand what Gary Gygax meant when he started this, the catalyst that he put, right? You have a love for D&D, and you have a love for Dungeons and Dragons and an understanding for Dungeons and Dragons, not just in 5e, but what it was in 4e and what it was in 3e and what it was in 2e and what it was in 1e. Even if you didn't play them all, you've done enough research and you know, right?
And the problem is that you have a preference for 1E or 2E or 3E or 4E. And that's just that cannot stand.
Get on board with current product.
Right, exactly. We are adding additional books to the holy text. This is, first edition, that was the old covenant. Second edition, that's the new covenant. Third edition is the newest covenant. I mean,
We're slowly, piece by piece, edition by edition, understanding the true revelatory wisdom that Gary Gygax had in store, not only for you personally, but for humanity as a whole.
Right, exactly.
But here's the problem. You, the most engaged player that's ever existed for Dungeons & Dragons, is no longer playing Dungeons & Dragons. You're off in your Wi-Fi Starbucks, drinking your lattes and being comfortable. While the real work of tabletop role-playing games, questions that have real impact for the.
Look at his mouth.
I would love to see Garibay address, castigate D&D players who are not bringing these issues up in their groups, at their tables.
Well, that's the thing, is that his assumption is that they are. The world that
which
he
is
lives in.
wrong.
Yeah, the world that he lives in is literally everyone who plays D&D is playing it in the exact same way as him. And they're all kind of this hive mind that are,
right.
connected and getting, the word of Gary and experiencing
we're slowly
the exaltation.
building the foundations of the new
new
Tower
man.
of Babel. I don't know.
Yeah,
the new
I mean,
the new man.
The new man.
Yeah.
The new male. It's like, look at this guy's eyes. This is insane. He's a living Wojak cartoon.
Yeah, this is the Wojak made real. This is the Bugman Bap warned us about.
This is the apotheosis of the Bugman.
Of the Bugman consumer.
Right.
Game for Dungeons and Dragons community, and for the American culture, in my opinion, because I think Dungeons and Dragons is it's an element of Americana. Right? It was created in America, and it's being built in America right now. It's an American product. Right?
I agree with that. I think D&D is a part of Americana.
Yeah. What on earth does that have to do with anything that this guy's talking about? It's, again, this insane modern belief, opinion, conviction that these consumer products, D&D, Coca-Cola, Marvel,
right,
that these are somehow vehicles for human change, societal change, and so you have to buy the tickets and tell everyone that you like the newest plastic sheen, overproduced, zero creativity, produced via committee, bland schlock, or you're not doing your duty as a citizen,
right,
in some insane capacity.
The deepest shame and the just horrible sadness that has come out of this is that D&D did not exist when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X
That's true.
were speaking.
That's true.
Because
imagine what could have been done.
Yeah, just think
if
what
MLK
the world could
played
be.
D&D.
Exactly.
Imagine if
what
Gandhi
this
sat down and played D&D with the British Raj. Imagine.
Right.
Imagine what would happen.
the human improvement that would come out of that.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. So the problem is, right now, the hard work is being done by the people who should least be doing it. People who have come to the game because it has name recognition and momentum. Right. That's not why people should be attached to D&D, but increasingly that's why people are attached to D&D. They recognize it's a mega intellectual property with a big future, just like Marvel was in the 80s, and they want to be there to suck up the juice of the name recognition and the momentum, right?
Fair.
And the reality, increasingly, I think there are people who are connected to Dungeons & Dragons and people in the D&D communities whose voices are being heard because your voice isn't even there, right?
Isn't that a shame? Your voice is not participating in this conversation with this kind of person.
It's not like Twitter and YouTube and individual games have their own cross-reference. It's not like everyone can hear and view everyone else's opinion, everyone else's voice, whatever even that really means. It isn't like, wow, my voice can't be heard because I can't make my own product. I can't make my voice be heard by making my own thing.
And you, by definition, can't hear the other voices that are happening in doing the real work because you're not there. But luckily, we have Scott here to bridge the gap between mainstream 5th edition D&D and literally every other game that's being played.
Stop playing your indie D&D clones. Stop playing your indie games. It's not cool anymore. You're not on the frontier. You're in a wide...
Expert of cool, J. Scott Garibay.
Exactly. Return back into the hive.
Yeah, exactly. You have to come
Get back in the slop.
Again, it's the crying Wojak, like, stop playing the game.
Wow.
Drinking your latte. You're the comfortable person now. The real work of tabletop role-playing games, the tough work, is being done on Dungeons and Dragons. Get back over here. This is where you belong, right? Stop. Put your latte down. Pick up something to do some real work, right? Like,
get back in the board cube. Let them reassimilate you. Come on.
Re-educate yourself. Yeah.
Get in the conversation. We need everybody here. We need people who understand the original legacy of the game. We need people who understand what Gary actually wanted when he built this.
That's why they stopped playing.
Yeah.
That's why they created old school essentials.
Right.
That's why they
understood.
Why there's For Golden Glory, a
right.
free version of. I think the PDF is free, but an indie republication of AD&D Second Edition, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the reason why they left, is because they understood and they were sick of this shit.
Yeah.
You are not serving anybody playing OSC. You are not serving anybody playing Index Card RPG. You are not serving anybody being over there, playing Knave and these great games, because they're just games. You're just playing games.
D&D is not a game. Current edition, 5th edition, this first one, not a game anymore.
But there's a real cultural conversation happening around Dungeons & Dragons right now, right? And we want everybody's voice in the mix, and we want a dialogue, right? We don't want an echo chamber, right?
So this is the problem with Garibay's mindset and all the creatures like him. The dialogue, the work, whatever that even fucking means, but any sort of dialogue regarding the hobby or anything else for that matter, it's only relevant and it only matters and it only counts is if we're all on the same brand team, the same merch team, the same product team. This dialogue amongst the whole hobby includes OSE people, OSR people, people who are playing Numenera or Free League games, all the different types of RPG products out there, the White Wolf crowd. This crazy distinction or this requirement that you need to be in the same camp as this one brand, it shows the break and the disconnect in the logic. There is a conversation. If you want to auger down and talk about a conversation about the hobby and where the hobby is going and whatever. What is D&D and what should tabletop games be? All these questions. That's already happening now.
Yeah.
You're just choosing not to view it as such because
people aren't agreeing with you.
Exactly.
Because people are not towing, the party line.
Towing the party line.
Like, come on, comrade.
Important. Get back to Dungeons & Dragons right now. That's my opinion. I'm willing to hear you out. Do you have any defense for what you're doing?
Nope, no defense. Nobody has any defense for the horrific,
utterly inexcusable.
Yeah, the
behavior.
Horrific sin and crime that is playing any game other
Get
than
up
5th
against
edition.
the wall.
Yeah. And it's crazy because what's going to happen when one D&D comes out and people still play 5th edition?
Yeah, I mean,
they like the work is no longer?
Why would
being
you
done
do
there.
that? Why would you commit such heresy?
And keeping your voice silenced in one of the biggest cultural questions for Dungeons & Dragons community and the American culture right now? Do you have any excuse for your silence?
Yeah, the biggest question in American culture right now is should elves have a bonus to their dexterity?
Yeah,
that's the
first
biggest.
Of all,
literally the most important cultural issue of our time.
Important thing, yeah, and discussions of race, etc. Really, the best vehicle, most relevant, most poignant, and most
Yeah.
effective way of doing that is through D&D.
Yeah.
Somehow, nobody gives a fuck about D&D in the broader hobby.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. It does not matter.
Like
It does not matter.
It
You are
doesn't matter at
not
all.
improving the lives of people in sub-Saharan Africa or in the Ukraine or anywhere or in your own neighborhood.
Well, I
by
don't know if you can
playing
say that.
D&D.
Are you playing 5th edition D&D right now?
That is true.
You're not
As-
doing the
as a
work, so
heretic.
I don't think that you can
Yeah,
chime in on this.
I
all right?
know. I will go to Gulag.
You know, for courting yourself off in a Wi-Fi Starbucks, just drinking your latte and having fun when there's real questions to be answered and your voice is needed.
You know what this is? It's like we're in the Wi-Fi Starbucks, one of the last bastions of civilization, and like this is like the opening scenes of Dawn of the Dead. You know, the Garibay zombies are outside, and they're like, "You need to come join us."
D&D.
I'd love to hear your
Just
defense,
moaning
and I'd
Hasbro.
love to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comments below.
You
Please
would
consider
not love
liking
to hear our opinions.
Yeah.
You would hate to
Have
hear
a
our
wonderful
opinions.
millennium.
Have a wonderful
Yeah,
millennium.
but you hit the nail on the head. I was trying to combine my thoughts there, but that is exactly the case. That this meaningless distinction, this false distinction regarding the commentary, the conversation, it is completely because other people do not agree with him, and that doesn't compute, because clearly all aspects of logic should lead you to D&D 5th edition for
Right.
now, until in 6 months from now or whatever, whenever 6th edition comes out, then obviously you go do that thing.
Right. And it doesn't matter that 6th edition is going to be somewhat backward compatible with 5th edition, because
Yeah.
this is new thing.
This is new thing. And whatever Hasbro, whatever Wizards of the Coast, through committee, through the HR departments,
Yeah.
decide is what the new dogma is, that is what you will do. If Wizards of the Coast tells you that you will purchase all new products via a subscription model, and also be required to pay $2.99 or what have you for an online VTT membership, you will do that.
Yeah.
Because you want to improve the human condition.
Yeah.
You want to continue the conversation, do you not?
Exactly.
Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the incredible healing power of Dungeons and Dragons. Let's get right into it. All right, so this happened. I think the end of my Dungeons and Dragons game happened in my 2-year Sunday Dungeons and Dragons game ended. A 2-year running Sunday Dungeons and Dragons game ended in November of 2022, and the table exploded apart. We had this incredibly strong, robust game, and the energy that was being used to create amazing narratives, amazing campaigns, innovative play,
Cool.
inverted, and it sent every single player and dungeon master at that table hurtling off in directions. It was an explosive ending, a horrible ending to a great 2-year period, right? And it ended.
So I'm guessing what happened here was that there was some major fight over some really dumb dispute with the rules.
Yeah.
And
There was a boss encounter, and it was
Right.
it says I can do this, no it doesn't, kind of
right. You can't counterspell
discussion.
at 5th level. You know, I have a +4 bonus on this. You don't get to do that. No, you have to roll it with disadvantage, and people start shrieking.
Yeah, there was a player character death,
Right.
or
Or someone
some level drain, or something.
someone refused to heal instead because they wanted to get an
Yep.
attack. Something happened in the dumbest, lowest
some
way.
lame tactical.
Right.
Yes, some lame disagreement about the mechanics.
ended a powerful friendship that had lasted for 8 years. And I swore I would never talk to this person again. I would never be in the same room with them, right? Now,
Okay. just so everyone knows, this video is called I Have Just Witnessed the Incredible Healing Power of Dungeons and Dragons. And he's talking about how Dungeons and Dragons destroyed his friendship.
Destroyed an 8-year friendship.
Yeah, destroyed an 8-year friendship.
Pay attention,
breaking
it'll
that
come back.
vow. I'm a oath breaker. Not proud of that, but I am a flawed human, right? And so sometimes we make mistakes, and I made a vow I shouldn't have made, and here we are today. And I want to explain the incredible healing power of Dungeons and Dragons.
Please do.
So now we are, this is like 4 months out, right? And for 4 months, I have not seen this person. I haven't spoken to them, right? And there's been animosity between me and this person, right? And if you were to ask me, I would say this person owes me 3 apologies. If you were to ask them, I think they would tell you that I owe them 9 apologies, right? And so
Okay, so he clearly was the problem.
Yeah, even by his own admission.
His
He
own
can't
admission,
admit it
yeah.
himself, but yeah. Not overtly, but subconsciously.
If I can put myself into the mind of someone else, I could see that they would really think that I owed them 9
Have
apologies.
far much more a grievance with me than I with them.
So we are not, we're not friends, and we're still not friends. I think that's about to end. I think the end of the friendship is about to end, and we're about to become friends again. And that's why I want to talk to you about the incredible healing power of Dungeons and Dragons, right?
That's going to be a sound bite for the soundboard.
Soundbite. Grammar, please. Newspeak.
So let's get all the way there. Thanks for your patience. All right. So basically, so we had this, and so each one of us, it would tell you, the other person's wrong, and we need and the only way the only way our friendship logically would have been resealed is if an apology were to reconnect us. Right now, we're on 2 sides of a cliff. There's a gorge. There is a chasm between us. Right?
Get on with it, Garibay.
And there used to be a bridge, and either I did or he did burnt that bridge to ash.
It's completely unclear who burned the bridge.
Yeah,
Based on the number of apologies, he owes me 3, I owe him 9. Nobody knows who burned the bridge.
I mean, no one could calculate those odds.
Right.
No one could.
The bridge just
Impossible to
burned.
know.
It's a complete mystery as to why.
Right.
Ash, right? And that bridge is gone. Now, what do apologies do? They form a bridge. They help people who are across the chasm of disagreement to meet each other in the middle and reseal, shake hands, hug, whatever, the peace gesture is. That's why apologies are so important, right?
Yeah, I know what an apology is.
Yeah, we do know what an apology is, and in addition to that, D&D destroyed the bridge, and an apology is something that it has existed prior to D&D. That might heal it.
But I'll tell you right now, I ain't apologizing, and I'll tell you right now, he ain't apologizing, right? Our friendship was gone forever, right? Well, here's what's going to heal it, right? Here's that incredible healing power of Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so I am 53 years old. One time I was 30 it was 2000, yeah. So I was 30 years old when the first D&D movie came out. Now the second Dungeons and Dragons cinematic universe attempt is happening. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves is in a historic event, right?
Not really at all.
Holy shit. It is a historic event.
Even though you just said there was a first D&D movie,
Right.
And it sucked,
And
the next one will
much
also
less
suck.
historical. All right.
Have advanced tickets. I have tickets to see the movie on March 19th, right? Like, sad sack DMs who are like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of busy. They'll be seeing it on the 31st. Not me. I'm seeing it on the 19th, right? That is literally this Sunday, right? So I have 6 advanced tickets to see Dungeons and Dragons on March 19th, 12 days before the Muggles, right?
For the Muggles.
Holy shit.
Utter insanity.
I love this guy.
Unironically.
Unironically. Like when you told me about him, I couldn't conceive of what the reality of Scott Garibay was until I saw the videos. I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Okay, let's keep going.
Oh my god. Sad sack DMs. I love also.
Dude, sad sack DMs.
Imagine
you
having
don't
life
care.
responsibilities. I'm going to wait a couple days to see a movie.
Yeah.
what a concept. Lower on the tier. What a beta move.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting a couple days to see a worldwide release movie. You got to get it 12 days,
I
or you're
got
not really
these, and I was
playing
like,
D&D.
oh,
Yeah. What are you, a muggle?
We're like, so extremely excited, right? And so who am I bringing, right? So I was like, well, my daughter's home from college, my youngest daughter. My youngest son still lives at home, right? My wife, right? I'm like, I want my family with me, right? So
Appropriate. Bring your family to the movies.
Sure.
This is the most sane thing that he said the
Same
entire
thing you've
time.
said so far.
Like, I'm going to go see a movie about something I like with my family. That's awesome.
Fair. Yeah.
That's the first rational thought he's had.
Yeah.
that's 4 tickets, right? Then I was ready, and I was like, okay, I can put this person, and then I remembered my friend, who I have a broken relationship with.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this could do it. This could be the bridge that would allow neither one of us to apologize. Right?
What does that even mean?
This would be the way that we could salvage our friendship.
I don't have to.
I don't have to do anything.
I don't have to admit anything. We could just not talk to each other.
This is so good.
What a deceptive and like slimy way.
Holy shit.
Right?
What if I bribe my friend into talking to me?
Yeah.
Simply reforge we could walk across a bridge that is undeniable to both of us. And so I did. I said, hey, so I sent a text. I said, I have an advanced ticket to see this movie 12 days before the Muggle World. I phrased it a little different. And I was like, do you want to see Dungeons & Dragons on our movie?
I phrased it like a normal person. I phrased it like a human being would phrase it.
He's a Dungeons & Dragons fan. I already know the answer is yes. And I'm like, do you want to see it 12 days before every other D&D sad sack who pretends to be an advocate or, like D&D?
An advocate.
Yeah, an advocate, not a player,
advocate.
not a yeah.
Not someone who can just enjoy something.
Right. Yeah.
A party
I think,
adherent.
One of the clergy.
Exactly.
And so I knew I had something super valuable that would be very hard to say no to, right? And that would be a gesture of kindness on my part, saying I could bring anybody, but I want to bring you, right? And so
It would be that if you hadn't just said it. This is a way for me to get back talking to my friend without conceding anything.
Yeah, without
showing any degree of humility or
contrition or
contrition or any meaningful
general
desire,
understanding of the other person's perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
any sort of empathy.
he
Or
posted
general
this
decency.
video. The guy's gonna see it, Like,
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like it's like the Don. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. You know, it's
oh my God.
apologize, and I do not expect him to apologize. The incredible healing power of Dungeons & Dragons will form the bridge that no apology did not form.
That no apology
You didn't
did
apologize.
Not form. Yeah.
because there were no apologies.
It'll allow us to not deal with our
It'll allow us to
relationship
continue
issues
to
as
play
men.
D&D.
Yeah, exactly.
As our resentment continues to build.
It'll allow us to get back to doing the work. Okay. This is more important
That's
than
right.
just mere friendship.
That's
all right.
And while D&D, and while actually I don't think D&D was the reason why our friendship ended.
It was definitely the reason that your friendship.
It was exactly the reason.
Yes,
You just said it.
If D&D hadn't been involved, you'd still be friends.
Right.
I think the reason why our friendship ended was either his deficiencies or my deficiencies, right? But what's going to heal that friendship, right? and
What a
give
great
us-
way of saying something without saying anything
Right.
at all.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
A relationship to build from after 4 months of being apart is the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. Dungeons & Dragons is not a game, in my humble opinion. It is a powerful catalyst of kindness, tolerance, progression, imagination, passion, love.
None of these traits you've
spirituality.
shown in this
Yeah.
story.
It's also a great replacement for an apology, apparently.
It's a great replacement for apology.
Truly huge, and it has real healing power. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider.
Well, Scott, I'm going to let you know. I know that you care about our opinion, so I'm going to post the link to this video in the comments on this video so that you can hear our humble opinion.
Like
Yes.
Driving, have a wonderful millennium.
Holy shit.
Wow. Yeah. When you fail to exhibit any of the traits that you ascribe to D&D, D&D product is the only way of salvation.
Right.
For yourself,
God.
for your friends, and for your community. Wow.
Like, I'd seen
What a
that
complete
video.
lack of awareness.
Yeah. Like, no awareness whatsoever. I'd seen that video a couple of times. Oh, my goodness. Ruining the podcast.
The podcast. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that this happened. Imagine
not even a little bit.
a 2-year-long game, and I can only imagine this definitely was not the first time there were disagreements
Right.
at the table.
Right.
And going by the 9-to-5 ratio in terms of
9-3. Yeah.
9-3. That's right. Yeah, it's even worse. 9-3 apologies needed to rectify the damage here. I can only imagine how garbage that game was.
Yeah. And so the whole purpose is of us bringing on J. Scott Garibay. This is not a problem with Wizards of the Coast. This is not a problem with, the game design, the game mechanics, or anything. This is a problem with the people who pay for these products, because these people
Right.
are the ones that are buying everything that Wizards of the Coast puts out. They keep dumping money into
Irrespective of
this.
quality.
Right. And so the quality of the game is being determined by these people. And this is why the
Cash
OSR
cows, these whales, these consumers.
Right.
Yeah.
This is why the OSR exists, is because people got tired of this. And we're not even, for the record, we're not even like OSR guys. Like, there's some interesting stuff in the OSR, but like I don't play OSR. I'm intrigued by some of the games I've read about recently, but
Yeah, same.
this is why the alternatives exist. Is because people are tired of these shit products and these shit games that are being mass consumed and mass produced by people like Scott Garibay. Like, and his opinions on D&D being like this spiritual movement, like those I guess are a little unique to him.
Right. An ideology of a religion of one.
Right. It's a religion of one, but
Hopefully,
these
for
are
now.
these are the kinds of people that are out there playing 5th edition right now. And it's shameful. You can get so much more out of your game. And if you are stuck in some table with people like this, I'm going to tell you the hard truth right now.
Get out.
Get out. But the thing is, not being able to play the game, that is a shitty feeling. It is not as bad of a feeling as being in a bad game, though. No gaming is better than bad gaming.
And bad gaming.
Right.
Yes. You do not want to be the person who sees the D&D movie with Scott Garibay because he's holding it over your head.
Right.
the only way for you to get that gaming back and not apologize, you've got the blackmail, the bribe, the 30 pieces of silver, call it what you will.
Right.
Hanging over your head, and you've got to endure this this however long the D&D movie is going to be, this 2-hour slog through the schlock.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that movie, though, by the way.
I can't wait.
This is one thing where
Because
I'm going to
it's
give
gonna
Wizards of the Coast some money, because it is going to be bad.
Bad.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, the reviews have come in, have kind of said that it's, like a Guardians of the Galaxy, like fun romp through fantasy stuff, whatever. I don't care. I'm evaluating this as someone who has loved the role-playing hobby, and I can already tell that it's going to be garbage. It's going to be garbage. When I got into fantasy role-playing, it was because of things, like the kinds of stories that I found attractive were like Conan, Lord of the Rings, like various types of fantasy that have been produced that have good storytelling in them and interesting characters and all of this stuff. And like, if I was a gamer today coming up, the kinds of inspirations that I'd be basing my entire gaming experience on would be like Game of Thrones and like Rome, like the things that like HBO produces, these like really interesting, like high quality shows that have a lot more going on than simply, seeing a displacer beast in a movie or, oh my goodness, a mimic. Let me see the gelatinous cube. I can't wait to see it.
I remember that from that.
Did you see what he did? That I know what feet that is. I can tell you what page number, what paragraph it is. Yeah, like
he did cleave. He must be a third level fighter. His hit points are probably.
But he actually might be multi-classing. like that. Holy fuck.
Those videos are coming.
Oh,
We're going to analyze all the characters and figure out exactly what level and what their stats are.
I cannot wait to see those videos so we can shit all over them.
All over.
Yeah, because fuck you people for ruining our goddamn hobby. Oh man.
Yeah, and like you said, no gaming is better than good gaming, and if you're...
It's better than bad gaming. No gaming is better than bad gaming.
Yeah, what I say.
You said that good gaming.
Yeah, that's wrong. But this ridiculous notion that you have to do some work, that you have to maintain some kind of either political correctness or some kind of awareness to a real-world controversy or issue, to any sort of real-world issue, is absolutely wrong. It's absolutely reprehensible. It's an evil mentality. Even setting aside D&D and tabletop gaming as for the moment, it's a direct attack. It's antithetical to creativity.
Yes.
It's directly antithetical to people actually engaging as friends or even as people cooperating together in any capacity.
Yeah.
It's an abhorrent mindset to have.
And these are the same people, by the way, that will say things like, when we talk about wanting a more immersive style or having a more interesting game with a better story, these are the same people that will tell you games shouldn't be work.
Yeah, well...
what?
You just heard it from the man himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this... They're either not supposed to be work, and it's just supposed to be fun, but simultaneously, this is a engine of social change that if you're not participating in, then, you're just standing on the sidelines of history. It's both of those things. They exist in some crazy superposition where both are true simultaneously. And if you like an interesting game and telling good stories and having fun at the same time, then you're doing it wrong, man.
Yeah. It's doublethink in its finest, purest form. And if you are not engaging with the hobby in the prescribed and specific way that the company determines that is most appropriate, then you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're persona non grata if you're just getting together with your friends, even if you're not role playing at all, which we've talked about that. But if you're just getting together with friends for a social activity, that's wrong on one token, and on the other token, if you are super engaged as we are and interested and passionate about immersive, role-playing focused, character-focused stories that you create, you and the people you game with create together. That is also wrong on the other side of the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is craziness.
I don't think I could have said that better.
Yeah, it's a mindset, a voice out there that needs to be pushed back against, to put it mildly.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a little upset because we're running out of time, and I really wanted to get to that last Garibay video, but
We'll have to save it for another one.
we're gonna have to save it for another one. Not every episode is going to be about Scott Garibay, but I do think he's going to be a recurring character, a recurring cast member of the Black Lodge Games podcast.
Yeah, his output is astonishing.
That's the other thing I know. He
He's a
makes
machine.
like 4 videos a day. It's insane. I keep getting notifications for them. And it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
Yeah,
at least
well,
he's
I
doing
think
he is doing the work.
he is doing. Yeah, he
is putting his
no
putting his
one
money
can
where his
say
mouth
that
is.
he's not doing the work. All right. Oh my God. All right. Well,
But-
I think that's gonna close us out. I really hope that you guys enjoy this podcast. If you do, please like, subscribe, share.
Comment.
Hit the bell, comment, do all that YouTube stuff to get us into the algorithm, get our stuff out
Yes.
there. Relatively soon, we're gonna have website going up. Got some social media stuff in the works, so we'll
Yeah.
be blasting all that out to
Very
you.
cool stuff on the horizon.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
But we got big plans, and really hope you join us, and make sure to watch all the other videos that we post. So thank you
definitely.
very much, guys. That's the
Till
end.
next time.